Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Leadership TKO live night show. Welcome to the night show, everyone. I am Dr. Lakeisha McKnight, your leadership specialist, your wealth mentor, author of a few books, but most importantly, guys, out of all of that, your friend, and I welcome you here to the show. Exciting times that we're in, despite what society and mainstream may paint. One thing I understand, is having an optimistic mindset and knowing, what your reality is. You have to know what your reality is. And so I'm going to share some things with you on tonight. And I'm about to go live. For those of you on the podcast platforms, I'm about to go live on Facebook. So please stand by. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I know Facebook is informing you all that I'm live at the moment, and so welcome everybody. 7:40 p.m. 7:40 p.m. on this Tuesday, January the 12th of 2021, right here in Chesapeake, Virginia, within the United States. So listen, I'm Dr. Lakeisha McKnight, your leadership specialist, wealth mentor, a few other things, but most importantly, guys, your friend, here to have some conversation and dialogue with you tonight, give you a heads up of what may be coming down the pipeline as far as focused topic areas for the stream, and also just to share with you in relationship to the topic matter at hand that is above. But welcome to the show. The show goes live every single night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here streaming live onto the timeline, right here. All right, as long as technology is on my side, I'm here streaming to you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it may be a little after the fact, but nonetheless, you're still getting access to the videos, to the content. And so welcome everybody. Now, the purpose of this show, this stream, Leadership TKO, is to empower leaders like yourself with the ability to win from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. That is what we're here to do. Help you to become more of an influential leader, impacting more lives, and helping you to grow your income so you can walk in your purpose that you were predestined to operate in. And so we welcome you here, and I thank you so very much for plugging in. For those of you who are consistently here, you know who you are. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. I don't want to single any individual out. I appreciate all of you who come by, who engage. And speaking of engagement, there are several ways to participate with the show. So the first way is to definitely like or love the stream. For those of you who are committed to your growth as a leader, I encourage you to do that. You have to work on your mindset. You have to work on your character. These are elements that helps you to improve yourself as a leader. Your ability to listen, that's a skill. All right. And so we talk about things like that as well on the stream, as well as on the timeline when I post content sometimes during the day. It's not every day that we make a regular post, but we definitely do the stream. So you want to make sure you turn on the notifications so that you are aware when I go live and you don't miss a session when we go live. So it's every single night at 7:30 p.m. So set that alarm, click the notification so you are aware as to when I go live. And then listen, below in the comment section, do me a quick favor. Let me know what city, state, and country you are tuning in from, especially if you are new to the Leadership TKO show. Let me know what city, what area, where are you from? All right. I would love to know where you're from. I'm originally from Paterson, New Jersey, but I've been residing in Chesapeake, Virginia for some time. So that's a beginning. That's a start. Okay. So I shared with you a little bit about where I'm from and where I am right now. How about yourself? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're catching this as a replay, let me know, okay, by just hashtagging replay below in the comment section. That informs me that, hey, I wasn't here live, but I was able to catch it. So hashtag replay below. And then lastly, share this out onto your timeline here on social media or any other place where you're able to share it. Perhaps do a live stream, okay, a watch party rather, so that people will also jump in and be connected while we're here live. So with that being said, you all know what I normally do. I like to practice what I preach, and I like to do as I ask you to do. So I'm going to share this with some of my colleagues, right? Winner Circle within Wealth Builders Worldwide, within an amazing company, okay? But most importantly, Wealth Builders Worldwide. So let me go ahead and share. Share. I'm going to go ahead and do it. You go ahead and share. Okay, let's be a blessing. Let's be a blessing to those that we are connected to. All right, listen. Okay, so you all see the topic above, right? And I've been pondering on this for a minute. I said, well, should I go back to this? I think this is very important because many of you, I'm going to ask you the question based on what's above. Does your story sound something similar to what I'm about to share with you? And I'm about to share with you that the fact that many of you, like myself, of course, you might have been raised with the traditional mindset, the traditional strategy coming up as a child. Okay, as we were taught, go to school. What do we do? We went to elementary school, depending on what level or grade elementary school went up to, and then you went to high school. I went to high school too, graduated, right? And so your parents, depending on the background that you grew up in, if you grew up with an extremely wealthy family, your path may have been guided a bit differently. Now, I grew up in a part of a higher middle class, I would say, a higher middle class. It still was middle class, but it wasn't that struggling middle class. It was more or less, we didn't really want for anything. Let's just put it that way. Okay, and the background, very, very educated. Many of them went to college and things of that nature. And so with my generation, yes, my generation was encouraged to go to school. We're encouraged to go to college. And so, yes, I went to college, right? I didn't get not just one degree. I didn't get just 2 degrees, but I got 3 degrees, right? 3 degrees. And yes, most of that was scholarships. Most of it was scholarship, but some of it was the government's money. Now, let me just inform you, for those of you who don't know what the government's money is, it's loans, cash, loans, debt. It's the government's money. So yes, I had some of that as well, and I got those degrees. And so many of you probably were instructed to do the very same thing. Go to school, go to a university or college, and get a degree or 2. Okay? And so you were taught to do this so you can get a job that will give you good benefits and you can potentially live the American dream. All we saw coming up was somebody going to work, somebody coming in. There was always somebody going to somebody's job. Now, I'm not saying that's a problem, but here is the biggest concern. The biggest concern is we were not educated about the various other options available simply because perhaps the family didn't know about those options or didn't trust and fully believe, or maybe even not wildly successful with those other options. Now, why do I say that? Because I have a glimpse. I have family members who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, had their own mechanic shops. All right. They were hairstylists. They were doing a number of different things. But the concern was they were focused in on controlling, seeing, they weren't really that into that option of putting yourself in position where you have your own business. They weren't thinking in terms of freedom. They were not thinking in terms of freedom where you did not have to depend on someone else or themselves to be able to bring an income. Now, if you are employed, just as we learn from many experts out there like Robert Kiyosaki, as he talks about his cash flow quadrant, right? We learn that there are essentially 4 ways to being able to generate some level of income, whether it requires your presence or not. We learn that you can be employed, self-employed, a business owner, or an investor. That's what we've learned. But let me tell you something. You have to assess what your purpose is, okay? And also How would you go about, if you want to, achieve freedom, financial freedom, or time freedom for yourself? Time freedom meaning that you're not limited because of having to go to somebody's office because you have a job, or because you created a job, because you are a doctor, a lawyer, or some professional that requires your efforts to be able to bring in some level of income. So you have to decide whether you want time freedom where it doesn't require your time, and whether you can have control over your schedule and there's no lack of income. Now, being a professional, you may have that income coming in as a self-professional, as a someone that's self-employed, right? But you lack the time. You don't have as much time as you want to enjoy the income. That is the concern. And when you're self-employed, for those of you doctors out there or lawyers, now you might be saying, well, Lakeisha, aren't you a doctor? Well, that's a different category, because I received an honorary doctorate in divinity. Okay. And so I did not necessarily graduate. Okay. Let me even back up even more. Yes, I actually was on path. Let me just correct that. I was on path to receive a doctoral degree through Regent University. And I completed about a year and a half of that. And I said, here's what I said. And you got to listen. I've been talking about this. Say what you see until you see what you said. You all heard me say that, right? I actually shared this. I verbally said this in the universe and ultimately to God. If he wanted me to pursue a terminal degree, like a doctoral degree, he would have to provide and make the way. What happened at the end of last year? I received a terminal or doctorate degree. So you got to say what you see until you see what you said. And so let me continue forward. So you want to assess, based on whatever your goals are, if you're going to remain as a professional, as in a doctor, lawyer, or what have you, that requires your time. I knew for myself, as I continued to expand and grow my family, I became a wife, I became a mom, that something had to change. Yes, I became a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with John Maxwell. I did, and I still am. But that requires me to be present a lot on stages, to coach leaders around the world. I love to do those things, but not at the expense of being separated a lot from my kids and my husband. That is the first area where I'm called to serve. And those are the most important relationships, other than God, the most important relationships in my life. So therefore, I had to make some decisions. My husband and I, we had to pray and seek a way whereby we can bring in income from home residually, passively, so that I can be there with my kids and not miss those important years of their lives. Does this sound similar to your situation for those of you watching this? Is it a situation whereby maybe you are at a job, you have to work a job right now, or you have to do a thing in order to be able to bring in cash or some level of income? Well, perhaps you're in a situation where you're like, you don't want to do that forever, and you're seeking a way by which you can quickly transition off your job or that job you created so you can have that time freedom. So you can have that financial freedom. Perhaps that's you as you're watching this. And so I came across an amazing family around 2016, called Wealth Builders Worldwide. And yes, it opened up my eyes really wide. Why do I say that? Because I began to be exposed to an even better way of having a system that helped me to be successful in the industry called network marketing. And yes, I know sometimes, depending on the lack of coaching and mentorship, you might not have received what you need to really succeed in the industry. But with Wealth Builders Worldwide, it gives you the education, the tools, the system you need to really thrive and be profitable in this industry called network marketing. And so when I began to become engrossed in this particular space, yes, I dedicated hours of my life in trying to understand it along the way. I didn't say, let me go look at it. Let me go investigate it. Let me go look into it. Let me go pray about it for a full year. No, that's not what I did. I did, and I continue to keep it in my prayers. But as I continue to have peace about this industry, as I continue to have mentorship from sound leadership, really important, I began to move forward and I began to do as the experts are doing, do as my mentors are doing, copying the right cats, the right leaders. And so I don't mind copying the right leaders. Unlike what they taught us in school, don't copy, don't copy. No, in this network marketing space, you should be copying the right leaders because they are where you want to be. And as I began to do that, implementing the strategies, implementing the golden nuggets that they teach and that they live, that's when I began to see success in my life, in my husband's life, in this space called network marketing. And so the better way exists. You have to be open and willing to learn and to possibly unlearn some things that were shared with you previous weeks, months, and years ago. You have to be willing to be open to learning about the different ways to generate income. You have to be. Many people, you're stuck on the traditional path, right? Of going to school, getting a good job, blah, 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 right? But perhaps you need to be unlearned about the different types of income. Hold on. Because we're used to cash as being money because that's what we thought and we assumed was money, right? Well, when I became connected to Wealth Builders Worldwide, I began to understand that, guess what? Cash, fiat, is not money. No. Cash is a receipt for money. Gotta go look up what a Federal Reserve note is to understand what I'm talking about. And so I understood that, yes, I can exchange the cash to get goods and services with, but the cash is not money. I understood and I learned that gold and silver, okay, and cryptocurrency is money. I understand that gold and silver is God's money and it protects the cash. And then I gradually learned that cryptocurrency is the people's money that's not regulated by by some powers that be. Okay? And so I understand now that there's a better way where you can actually get paid, not necessarily in cash, but you actually can get paid in cryptocurrency. And so this is what I began to learn even more. And so now, where we are in the space that we are in, my husband and I and many others, we are in a better space. We're not dependent upon cash because cash does not save, number one, and cash is not money. And now we're doing what the wealthy do. We're paying ourselves first with real money, protecting the cash that we work hard for when we do receive that, and putting ourselves in a system that pays us in cryptocurrency. Yes, pays us in Bitcoin several times a day, 365 days of a year. And so we get paid in cryptocurrency, which is an asset, and it has the potential to grow in value. So as we hold the cryptocurrency, it's making us wealthier. And so you want to put yourself in a space based on what your goals are, where you're becoming wealthier as you hold these assets. We don't have to necessarily go and exchange the cash if we don't want to for the cryptocurrency, right? We could actually get paid in it several times a day. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're helping other people to get access to and become educated on the better way, educated on what real money is and is not, and educating you on what is real money, like gold, silver, cryptocurrency, and many others. So with that being said, does your story sound similar to that? Where you did not know about something, you became enlightened about a thing, And then you decided to do something better. You decided to actually travel down that route of learning a better way. Now, some people may hear this and you may say, Lakeisha, I don't believe you. I still think cash is money. Well, you can continue to think that way. But the truth of the matter is, cash is not money. It still will remain the fact that cash is not money. But whatever you try to believe, you can go forward and believe. If you believe a lie is truth, then go forward. But if you're looking to truly become educated about, the availability of getting paid in cryptocurrency, for those of you watching this, maybe you're not connected to a system that pays you in cryptocurrency and you need information about this. Do you need information about getting paid in crypto? Reply info below in the comment section. If you're watching this, you need information about being paid in Bitcoin. We're not saying get Bitcoin, because you can get Bitcoin from any like app and other platform. But we're giving you a resource that will educate you, position you to get paid in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So for those of you who need information about this resource, reply info below. And listen, if you're watching on a Wealth Builders timeline, I want you to get back with them, inbox them and say, hey, Lakeisha was talking about, getting paid in Bitcoin. How do I do that? All right. And so we will give you the information that you need. So listen, I appreciate your time. Let me know if your story sounded anything similar to what I'd shared with you about going to school and getting a good job and that you're going to be all right and live a good lifestyle. It depends on what your goal is, whether you consider that lifestyle to be good. If you're forced to have to get up, go in traffic, and you really don't enjoy going into that place of employment, and you think that there is no other way, then you need to be open to learning about other ways to generate income. And if you also need more passive income, or you want to get your hands on Bitcoin without paying for it, the resource is here. So thank you so very much for tuning in tonight during the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. And I want you to understand, with this show, we educate you, we inform you about what's available for you so you can grow your income and grow as a leader. Leaders share information. Leaders give you resources, and that's what this show is going to give you. And so I appreciate you guys. And so until the next time that you and I come back together again, I do encourage you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, everyone, and God bless.